Seven Social, great. Leon Hyatt from Dungannon. Oh, there's Elaine from Green Island, great. Gosh, we have a good widespread. There's everybody. Clare, there you go. Next Steps Coaching from Clock, brilliant. We're all set, great. That's fabulous. I think everybody's actually coming in thick and fast here, great. Super, we're just waiting for everybody just to get in here now and then we can get started. So Gillian, great, Gillian from Belfast. No, it's not such a nice day. It's not as good as yesterday anyway, but great. No, fabulous, everybody's coming in here now. So I think actually we're just sort of getting started here now. That's fabulous. So let me see just in the chat here, great. So I just wanted to give everybody a warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. If everybody did not know me, my name is Clare Gallagher. I'm Head of Membership for Women in Business. But before I just sort of get started, really, I just wanted to give you a quick lowdown on all the exciting stuff that Women in Business have currently got going. We have a brilliant online schedule of events, and the next one that will be coming up, actually, it will be Thursday, the 18th of June. This Thursday, we've got Sharon McNulty from Serenity Sparks Joy hosting a decluttering at home webinar, which I think we all need, but it's really good to help with getting rid of all that stress and clutter and everything there in the house. So what actually we have also is our Yes You Can program, which is up and running, and that is actually the Imagine It Bootcamp for female entrepreneurs. They're actually in the Ards, North Down, Lisburn, Castlereagh area. So if you are in that area and you want to actually go and join, it'll be an online event. It's on Tuesday, the 23rd of June. Please just sign up through our website. Also on the 23rd of June, our next webinar will be Challenging Your Imposter Syndrome. And I think actually we can all do with something like that. I know I can. We're all a bit of imposter syndrome sometimes, but that's taken by the fabulous Niamh McElhatton. She's absolutely brilliant. She's Sales and Marketing Director for Grafton Recruitment. So do please sign up for that. We also have on the 25th of June, Ashlyn Higgins from Dream DIY in the Garden, and she'll be giving us all helpful tips on how to really perfect, get the garden bright and beautiful really for this summer. So lots going on now in the next week or so with Women in Business, but without further ado, I just want to get the start party started here with regards to sales. So whenever you're looking at sales, let me just get this here on the go here, pardon me. Just get my, there we go, sales. So I just want to impart, of course, a little bit on helpful hints and tips that I have picked up over the number of years that I've been in sales, probably about 15 years, longer than I care to remember. But it's a fine art sometimes whenever you're looking at sales, you know, and you have to perfect and tune your skills in sales. You know, some people say whenever you go, oh no, there's a salesperson at the door, or you know, there's a sales call, somebody's phoning me about sales. So really it's hard, and you know what we're looking to do today is really understand the role of the sales professional. Heighten your awareness of effective and ineffective selling habits, and also learn the successful flow of sales, because there is pretty much sometimes a flow that it actually happens. So what we're going to do, I'm going to just give you a few details on some hints and tips, as I say, on how to perfect that. If anybody has actually any questions or anything like that, you know, you put in the Q&A. I'll answer them later on at the end, so we can actually just stay with the flow of the area. But first and foremost, I actually have just a couple of polls that I want to run past with everybody. So if I could put poll number 1 up on the screen here, please. And first of all, can everybody just answer this one for me? Are you employed or self-employed? If you can hit it and put it in there for me, just to let me know what we're all at. It just gives me an idea, just really there of who we've got. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Oh, great, right. So we have 61 self-employed and 39% employed. Very good stat there. So also just heading on to my next poll really quickly here. Yeah, if you can just get the next poll up here. Quick one there for you. Are you in a specific sales role within your job at the moment? Yes or no? I will just wait for you, everybody, just to answer that one. So, oh, interesting. So, 42% are in a specific sales role, 58% are not in a sales role. Right, okay. So what I wanted to do, look at that. That was a bit of a sneaky one there for us because what we actually are, and the next slide will actually prove it. I love these. If I can get through it, pardon me, just a second. We're all salespeople. So you're a salesperson. You're a salesperson. Everyone is a salesperson. So I was expecting a lot higher there on that. Are you in a sales role? So that was just me just checking there for it. But we are all really in to be in looking at and concentrating on a sales role, especially whenever if you are self-employed, really, you know. So that's how you're really going to progress your business. So really the next one that I was wanting to look at is this quote. And it comes from sales, and it's really valuable. Maybe everybody's probably heard the fabulous Maya Angelou. And people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I think when it comes to sales, people do buy from people that they know, they like, and they really get along with and developing a relationship, you know. So really sales is perfecting that. And what it is, you know, so many people in life, you know, somebody said to me, they have three needs in life, and sometimes it goes back to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, they want to be known and needed and loved. You know, that's a really powerful mantra to look at. You know, so whenever you are in sales, you know, whenever somebody wants to be known, you know, get the customer's name, write it down. You know, you've seen it, so many people, the politicians out there, they are so good at doing the whole, you know, getting the name. You know, you've got, oh, Judy, yes, you know, Judy, that was really good answer, Judy. Thank you, Judy. Let me explain that, Judy. You know, of course, they've got somebody in the back telling them what the name is, but make sure that you remember the customer's name. You know, whenever you are speaking to them or you're relating to them, if they say something to you about, oh, you know, we're away, you know, we're up on, you know, for the weekend to Donegal or something like that, the next time you're chatting with them and just say, look, you know, how was your holiday? How was Donegal? And things like that. Remember what they've told you. So again, another one is needed. They really want to be needed. Look at what's their needs and their desires and really what they want from you. And again, another one is love. You know, they really want to feel the love from you, and especially in sales. You know, so going that extra mile, really, you know, saying to them, thank you so much for your call. We're really excited to be working with you. You know, really making sure that they really want to see that you're that they are important to you. So what we're looking at now actually is what types of buy. So what it is first one, which I love this one actually, is the emotional buy. And everybody's going, oh, I bet I look so cool in this convertible. You know, your guy, he's speeding down the road, you know, he just thinks he's great. This is it. This is what I've been wanting, you know, and he's totally bought this on his emotions, really, looking at it. But the next one you're probably looking at is the logical buy. So, you know, honey, gets good mileage. It's a great safety rating. I got a great deal on it. So, you know, this is probably primarily where you're looking at the logic behind it, you know, and so why you want to buy. So I really love this here. Actually, I just think this really sums up the buying process sometimes for two. You've got two different sides really whenever you're looking at it. But what I really want to look at and home in on is the role. Looking at the role of the salesperson. So I actually have homed in and probably primarily got 5 main roles. So you're looking at is to know, you know, so really home in on your product, know your product inside out, absolutely be an expert in your field. And whenever you're out there with sales, you know, and know the competition, make sure what you're up against whenever you are out there and you're pitching for some sales. So ask and confirm customers' needs, specifications, agenda and goals. Really, really ask the questions and listen to your customer, and actually satisfy those needs more persuasively than the competition. And that's really what it is. And it's a competitive market out there. It really is, you know. So in sales, you really, really need to be ahead of the market and ahead of the competition. So send promised materials and follow up. Always follow up really on any meetings or any calls or anything that you've had with a customer or a client. That's very, very important whenever you're looking at that. And close, get to the next step, closing the deal. That's the main rules whenever you're looking at in sales. So what I really want to look at now is your value proposition. If everybody has actually known the value proposition, and it really should describe how your product or your service really solves or improves problems, and what benefits it can really give the customer, and why the customer should really buy off of you as opposed to the competition. So, for example, whenever you're looking at, we have for women in business, you know, we are Northern Ireland's largest and fastest growing business network for women. You know, we are your friend in business, and that's our mantra. That's what we really, really look by. Other ones that I was looking at actually, for example, is Bitly, you know, the link shortening company. So, of course, they remove all the clutter. You know, they're concise, and you know, their nature of their business is to shorten, share, and measure. That's what they do. You shorten your URL, you share it out, and you'll measure it again through your analytics. That's the value that they bring. Another one, of course, is the big ones is the likes of Apple. I looked at iPhone there, and what they actually have as their value proposition is that their experience is the product. You know, we're saturated with mobile phones and products, and what differentiates them is that their phone shouldn't be really just a collection of features or anything like that. It is an experience. It's magical users. They look at it really primarily. So look at what your value proposition is, and that really is, how does your product or service or solution impact your customer's bottom line? What positive impact has your product or service had on bringing additional revenue business to your clients? And does your product or service enable your customer to achieve any competitive advantage? So what's in it for the customer primarily? And does your product or service have an impact on your customer's customer? Again, it's just really saying how they can get maybe potential return on the investment that they're making with you. So that's a good area to look at, really. So what we really want to probably primarily looking at is prospecting. So prospecting for new sales leads, new opportunities out there. There are so many opportunities for prospecting for sales. And I'll go through, there's a few that I've looked at myself. Potentially now at the minute in this climate, really at the minute looking at is your current clients, the clients that you currently have. You know, and at the moment, you know, it is very uncertain times going on. You know, what you maybe want to potentially looking at is retention, keeping the current clients that you have, but also looking at maybe opportunities for upselling, you know. So going through your current database and seeing maybe who potentially you could actually call and see or contact, and make sure that you have maybe new opportunities for them, so to increase their business, you know, in the time at the moment. Other prospects that you could look at would be potential organizational directories and memberships, as you have been amazing, and you know, you are currently a member of Women in Business, which is great, you know, but utilize those opportunities to connect with other members, you know, and really have that area for networking. And I always say network. It is your worth. And you know, at the moment, of course, we're not meeting and networking and everything like that, but you know, that's the key really. It is to push and project and raise your profile, is the opportunity to network. They might not know, if you meet somebody, they might not know or want something from you, but they might know somebody who knows somebody who might want something that you're selling, you know. So always keep yourself engaged with people within networking opportunities. A really great one also is the phone call, you know. And I think at the minute, you know, we're trying to get back maybe even to the traditional phone call, is just picking up phone. I know some people actually feel it's kind of like, oh, you know, I just don't like, you know, over the phone, or, you know, it's just like, let's email. But, you know, picking up the phone, I think is great, especially now for the current climate of your potential customers, but only that, to current customers. I actually have a perfect example. I had my local bank actually calling me the other week, just out of the blue, but of course just to say, hey Claire, you know, how are you? Just wanted to catch up and see if you're okay, you know, and everything. And I actually thought that was just so lovely of them to do. I think they caught me at a good time, you know, so I had a great chat with them. And then of course they were just like, you know, how are you? You know, are you okay? You know, do you need any loans out there or anything? Or of course they were maybe trying to upsell a little bit, but you know, they were really. I thought that was a really good opportunity for them just to give me a call, and I really appreciated it. So, other areas that you're looking at is perfecting for new sales. As mentioned earlier, not only the calls, but also just to try and get is the email. You know, you really want to try and perfect the potential of getting the right email out there at the right time whenever you are looking for new clients. I had many years ago in a sales training course, and the trainer actually asked me, everybody, can you please email me your potential email if you were going to email a client. So I got mine, and he tore mine to shreds, because I actually had, for the first like 2 paragraphs or whatever, it was pretty much all about me. You know, I'm this, I'm that, you know, and I'm great. Our organization is, you know, superb. But I didn't actually, he said, you didn't even actually hone in on the customer, you know. So primarily looking at it to say, hi, you know, my name is Clare Gallagher. I am head of membership for women in business. I see that your organization is, you know, progressing, and it is increasing in staff, and you know, opportunities. Is there opportunities to work with you? You know, but you know, instead of all about me, really home in on seeing what the client and what the organisation is. And I actually, that really struck a chord with me, just to make sure that, you know, I am making the positive impact and showing the client that I'm thinking about them and I'm listening to them. So a large number of things is scheduling appointments, really following up when, if you have a call, if you're actually meeting anybody, schedule that appointment to actually to get it in the diary. And I think it's really important, you know, going out and having, at the minute, of course, we can't get the coffee or, you know, go to the coffee shops, but really have the opportunity to do that. I think it is key whenever you're looking at new prospecting and sales. Other areas that I always look at, and I just think it is industry magazines. You know, for me, it's the business magazines. The local business magazines are just my, like, hello or take a break. I absolutely love them. You know, they come in the desk, and you know, I have great, you know, flick through it and everything like that. Usually I'll spot and I'll see somebody, you know, that I know, you know, and I'll drop them an email, or I'll drop them a line. Oh, pardon me, got the wrong one. And I'll just say to them, you know, I spotted you on your editorial there in the local business magazine. It was great. Love the photo. And just to strike up again another conversation with your you know, extended network and business network. I always think it's just always really good to do that. But also maybe looking at industry magazines to see what's out there. Any potential new business and everything like that is key. One, of course, looking at prospecting and new sales, definitely looking at LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn is a great opportunity for building your profile on, you know, it's the social media for business. We actually recently, just there last week, had a great LinkedIn webinar with Louise Brogan from Social Bee and I. If anybody missed it or anything like that, it's actually on our website, on the Women in Business website, to look it up. It was great. So do have a look at that, because, you know, just don't look LinkedIn for the fun, you know, just really connect. Also, you know, like anybody's or potential clients posts, maybe share their insights and see what they're doing, you know, drop them a message. It's always a really good way, especially maybe if you don't have somebody's email address, you know, you can connect with them on LinkedIn and then start the process that way for messaging or anything like that too. But also especially key for prospecting is, you know, if you have your own business, is making sure, of course, that your promotional material and everything is up to speed, up to date. Your website is functional, it's up and running, and it actually is user friendly, you know, especially when you're looking at sales. I think somebody told me that, you know, if your purchasing page needs to be with only 3 clicks away from your homepage, you know, just to make it very easy and clean for customers to actually proceed to purchase and to buy. So excited, making sure that your technology is up and running there. And also through social media, the power of social media is just fantastic at the minute for prospecting for new sales. So really maybe get yourself out there, make sure that you are on the social media platforms and the channels that you're able to do. Prospecting, other areas you could even look at that I always like to see is the good old newspaper. Whenever you are looking at the recruitment classifieds, maybe who's out there, is there any trigger events that's happening? Is there like a new senior manager, or is there a new chief executive, of an organization? Do your homework, have a look and say, oh, they're recruiting, they're expanding, maybe there's potential, maybe there's areas in there that, I can really look at and home in on. So, the good old traditional business section of the newspaper, I always think it actually is quite helpful too anyway. So hopefully that will give you a few bit of insight there into areas that you can look at for prospecting really. So what I want to look at actually next now is the customer. So there's various customer styles that we've perfected over the years now. I've actually met and I had meetings with all of them, but what I want to just run through is a few. So you've got is potentially as a tactile customer. So this could be, for example, your administrative assistant, your maybe entry-level executive manager, your like PA or something like that there in the organization, so they don't really, maybe are not very much the decision maker in the process or the factor things. They can't really make the decisions. They're not really good in the, they don't really looking at taking the risk side of things at all whenever you're meeting with them, but they're nice. But the opportunity for this is that they might have a connection with the decision maker. And this might be really, really valuable in the opportunity for getting an appointment or getting to the next step. So the tactical one, I actually had a great relationship with a PA over the years. I had a Mary, and she was absolutely brilliant. She was a PA to a chief executive whenever I was in sales for hospitality, and loved Mary, absolutely loved her. She, we would talk for about 20 minutes about her grandkids and this and that, and then of course, it actually had to say, Mary's the boss wife, but she was absolutely brilliant. But she always would be, Clare, no, he's not, he's just tied up in meetings all day. He's just up to his eyes, but I'll tell him, I'll get him to call you. And I was like, no, don't worry, it's nothing to. But later that afternoon, I get a call from the boss to say, Clare, well, Mary told me that I had to phone you this time, so she was great, absolutely brilliant. So sometimes it's always good to get a Mary or a Martin or somebody in the office there that actually really will maybe just sort of be your support and get to maybe even there. They can potentially be the gatekeeper and everything like that too in organizations. So it's quite important for you to look at that. But also there's the passionate. You've got the passionate customer, and that's potentially, you're looking at they're being sales too, they're in marketing, they love, somebody said to me one time, it's the fluff, it's like, for example, a bride, they're so passionate, about what they want. They prefer sometimes to chat, maybe, they like the phone call over the email, they're good to get to know and things like that too. So, they can really forthcoming with all of their information. They like to talk and chat, and again, these people will be, on your side, maybe sometimes not necessarily a decision maker, but, they will be there. So having a good, passionate customer too is great, because, you paint them a picture and you give them, this is what you're looking for. So it's great to know actually from that style of thought. So other one there in the bottom, they've got the bottom two there now, you've got a systematic customer. So your systematic customer. So this can be a tricky one, because it could be really potentially the accountant, finance director, or you've got your operations manager. And these are what people that are specialized in a certain area, they're not really convinced by emotion like the passionate customer or anything at all, very logical. Their information you really need is accurate. They want stats, so maybe getting them to say yes can be a bit of a journey, so they can be a bit difficult to read. But really, you want to, with a systematic customer, is be very specific, provide the data, bring in the experts and everything for them. So that's definitely a very key for you, for the systematic customer. Strategic, whenever you're looking at the strategic customer, now these I've learned over the years is definitely the CEO, the general manager and things like that. These are good communicators. They see really the big picture and things, you know, and they're visionary, they're results orientated. They really want to see and, you know, have that opportunity to see their vision go, you know, to the next level. And really what they want the opportunity to be for them is prepared. You know, sometimes you don't get a second chance to get to the strategic customer, you know, so they, whenever they say yes, you know, that's usually it. There could be the sole decision maker on things, but, you know, you really want to involve them, you know, not too much bullet points, deal again, a bit like systematic, deal with the facts. This is what they really, really want to hear. So this is a few ideas and things like that on how customer styles can be quite different, and maybe how potentially you could look at merging them together if you're ever in that. I actually was in a position where I actually had all four. I was doing a sponsorship proposal, and I had them all in there. I had the CEO, I actually had the finance director, I had head of marketing, and then I brought their marketing executive and everything too. So I painted them the greatest picture ever about, you know, how their branding and their advertising could be everywhere. This is going to be great for you. You know, marketing was so behind it. CEO loved it because their ego was just like, oh, you know, is this, you can get our ads and everything everywhere. But what it fell down on was accounts. So the finance, the head of finance was like, don't know, I don't get it, I'm not sure, you know, I'm spending all this, we're spending this money for what, you know. So I really had to convince the accountants, you know, as to how, you know, we could do it. I was looking at referrals and, you know, what our other clients had done, the return on the investment that they had received after, you know, coming on board with ourselves. So there is just so many ways of actually trying to convince these for people within the room to actually go ahead with it, and they actually did, which was great. But it was a hard sell on the finance side of things too. So what I really want to just look at there now is potential for inbound and outbound sales. So, you know, we have various sales opportunities in sales, and you know, so many of them is a call, is a phone call, you know. So looking at call opening, what we're looking at is also qualifying questions that we might potentially need, and also presenting the product and the solution and the closing and the follow-up, you know, on that. So that's what I really want to just have a quick look at now at the minute. So what we can see is your call opening whenever you are phoning anybody, you know, and I said it goes back to a little bit more of the love you, want you, need you type thing, you know. Whenever you are phoning somebody, you know, use that lovely warm tone of voice, establish a lovely relationship with them, and as somebody said to me, when I make nice, you know, you want to be, and it's nice to actually, as I say, buy from somebody that you like, you know. So really just tone that in, and your good introduction, you know, hi, where are you calling from, you know, just to be as very casual as anything. You don't want to be like run quickly into what the sale is. Set the agenda for the call. So what do you want to accomplish? Information gathering, let me ask you some questions, you know, so, and really have a reason for listening, you know, what's in it for the customer, what are they, how are you going to keep them on the call? So in order to get an understanding of the customer's wants and needs. So also just for whenever you are calling, check for acceptance, gaining the buy-in from the customer. How does that sound? Does that sound good to you? You know, a few areas like that, just to make sure that they're really happy to listen to what you're actually saying. So I have a few more here. There are examples I would love to see. So for example, I would love to talk with you more about your needs. Then I'll be in the best position just to research the ideal options for you. So here's another one there that you're looking at potentially whenever you're having the engagement. Congratulations on your engagement. I would love to help plan your perfect day. Will you paint me a picture of your ideal wedding reception for me? This is a really good question because, for example, if you are on it, the couple that are got engaged, you know, potentially they could say, you know what, really we want to keep it small. We don't want too many people, you know, it's going to be very low key. Or on the other hand, the couple could turn around and go, oh, we want it all. We want everything, you know. We want the doves flying around the room. We want it, you know, so much. So that can gauge and decide what the costs and things could be, what their budget is, you know. So, you know, can you paint me a picture? That's a really good question to have. So next one would be, I understand that you're in a hurry and you just want to know if space is available. May I ask you a few quick questions first, just to find the best space for your group? So again, this could be a really, really good one because, you know, you want to make sure that you are providing the best solution to the customer's needs. So, you know, just try and probe and get as much information from them as possible, really. So we're looking at it. So this is a few, I found call opening samples there that I just actually had a look at and just thought I would put out to you all. So I'm calling today to follow up on our talk at the recent Women in Business Networking event. We discussed the possibility of our hotel being a wonderful new destination to host your annual conference. Is now a good time to talk about meeting your needs? You know, something like that. So, you know, keep it nice and light. You're reminding them maybe where you met them before, and you're wanting to follow up. So I was just trying to keep it really primarily, for example, with regards to this hotel we're looking at. So again, this is another one. Thank you for taking my call. We hosted your bank's Christmas party in the past, and we loved hosting your event. Your party will look amazing in our fantastic newly renovated hospitality room. And I was hoping we could discuss this year's plans. Is now a good time? You know, so it just sort of gives you a good way of actually just introducing yourself, but also just gaining acceptance primarily from the customer to say they're happy to take your call, you know, you're okay with that there too. So hopefully there's a few examples there that I actually have going for it. So what next is actually what we're looking at is qualifying, you know. So this is really it because you're really wanting to look at probing with your potential customer and seeing, again, looking at what their wants and their needs primarily are. So you've got two you're looking at is the open and the closed-ended question. So tell me, you know, only they're looking at the open-ended, what, elaborate, how, why, explain, you know, things like that really will work really well when it comes to that. So you're looking at open questions. So tell me who else you might want to provide information to. So this is a good one because you can actually see, maybe if they're looking to speak to their boss or anything like that, you know, you can actually include them information. What other things are important to you when making your decision? You know, why is location important to you? Maybe that'd be a good one there for you. Or explain the type and nature of the event that you're planning, you know. So again, that could be something that you'd be looking at. For example, if it is high end or if it's low key, again, looking at, so explain the type and nature of something. That's a good area to look at. Elaborate on who the attendees maybe potentially will be. Just again, looking at an example of if you are hosting an event, the attendees, you know, this is a good one because, you know, elaborate who will be going or who will be utilising it. Is it really high end or is it again low key, again depending on some budgets and what they're looking at. So where have you had maybe your event in previous years? Again, you know, where have you done business with before? That's a really good area, and you know, you can see what they're actually looking at. So what I can actually look at is, and then you've got is closing questions. So again, can I help you? Do you have everything you need? Are you keeping well? Is there anything I can do for you? Is that your final answer? You know, from these are very closed, and you know, they really don't tell you too much. The customer won't really respond as much from you from the open-ended question. But again, sometimes it is time for you for the closed-ended question. So really what you're looking at sometimes whenever you're in the call or if a customer comes on to meet with you or anything like that, there can be customer indifference, you know, and they're just not sure, they just don't know. But what I really want to look at is how you can get over that. So, you know, looking at acknowledging the customer's point of view. And there's the 3 F's I actually found a while back. I don't know if everybody's seen it, but for example, again, you know, maybe you're looking at the iPhone, which costs, I don't know how much money, you know, for the latest one. But, you know, if you're looking at that and you could turn around and go, you know, I know how you feel, you know, for the cost, you know, it's a bit much, but, you know, I felt that way too whenever I found out what the cost is. But what I found was, is that this phone's going to completely change your life. So, you know, this 3S things is like, I know how you feel. I felt that way too. And what I found was, again, you know, it might sound a bit cheesy, but it is, you know, a way of actually maybe getting to the customer point of view and giving them that more emotional buy, that, you know what, it's really going to be a resolution to you. So, you know, acknowledging the point of view of the customer there is important. So request permission to probe. You know, can I ask you a few more questions? And again, they're using those open-ended questions for them just to see, you know, at this point, can I convince them, or is there an areas there of indifference? Look, have a listen, and, you know, think about good inbound probes at the caller, you know, and present them to them whenever they are on the phone, because you don't want to lose them at this stage, really. So, you know, hopefully, you know, the caller is quite keen. Maybe you've progressed there now to the opportunity maybe to have a meeting with them. Let's get there, and maybe you want to do a presentation and everything there too. So presenting sales presentations. This is one I actually love, and I just thought I'd put this picture up because, of course, sales presentations. It's difficult actually to perfect, just like in sales, it's perfection of a presentation. You don't want to be having this where you're deaf by PowerPoint and, you know, you're on it, and hope to goodness everybody is happy enough with mine. It's not deaf by PowerPoint, but this is a good indication there that you want to have is this, you know. So your sales presentation really, really wants to be, you know, inspiring. You know, you want to have everybody looking at you, you know, and listening. So primarily, you know, areas of the sales presentation pitches you really want to do is do your homework. First and foremost, you really want to make sure that you know who you're presenting to, even if you actually have to go online and, you know, research them and see, you know, if it's the CEO, if it's the senior managers, and who will be in the room with you. You know, looking at it, and prep time, get that prep time in there as much as you can, because first impressions, you know, sometimes you say you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And I actually have a great story where you actually make sure that you get your prep time in. Again, was one time I actually had a meeting with a really high-end chief, it was one of the chief executives actually, and they were bringing their senior managers along, and, you know, they were wanting to, maybe I was trying to get a deal done, trying to get it across the line, but I actually wasn't prepared because I had scheduled a meeting beforehand. Shouldn't have done it. I should have actually given myself that whole window just to get myself prepped, but I was running behind, and I actually asked one of the young guys in the office. He was going out for his lunch, and he sort of was like, you know, anybody want anything, you know? And I was like, oh gosh, I'm really behind here. And I asked him, I'd give him a few pounds. Would you go out and, you know, I've got a meeting coming out. Would you get some lovely biscuits for this meeting? You know, I'm sure, you know, I had a chance to get out earlier. No, I said, you know the lovely Fox's biscuits, you know, and, you know, I was expecting them to come back with the lovely double chocolate, you know, just to make sure that I had, you know, prepped and had the opportunity to give them nice hospitality. But I've got props for this story actually though. But instead of the Foxes, they did give me Foxes, but he actually came back with Fox's party rings, which was great, lovely, you know, party rings. So I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness, this meeting is actually going to look like a 5-year-old's birthday with party rings sitting on the table, you know, for senior managers coming in. Oh, I was just like, oh, he goes, oh, well, they're the Fox's biscuits. And I was like, yeah, but, you know, let's have something actually a little bit more substantial for a high-end meeting. My fault again, just for not getting prepped or prepared. So I had to go into this meeting with Fox's party rings sitting on the table and everything there. And I did acknowledge it. I made a joke about it and said, you know, should have done anything to just maybe do it yourself. And they had a bit of a laugh too about the party rings actually being on the table for their hospitality. But I did have the good coffee and everything. I had lovely French roast coffee for them. But it was fun. And after it, you know, we did a good deal and everything there, and we're all happy. And, you know, it just became a bit of a fun. Later at Christmas time, I sent them all like lovely bottle of wine and everything for Christmas, and then popped a packet of party rings and everything in the wine bag. So we had a bit of a joke about it anyway too. But yeah, I wasn't prepared for that, and I should have actually had really, really good substantial hospitality for them. But you know, looking at it, especially whenever you're looking at presentation, you know, beginning statement. A large number of people maybe would talk and like too much about themselves. You know, as I said maybe earlier with my introductory email, you know, all about me. Try and keep it short and sweet from yourself. And really listen to the client before you pitch, you know, and ask them probing questions as much as you can, because if you show interest in their organization, you know, that will make a lot of dividends there for you whenever you are wanting to listen to the pitch. So again, not too much text whenever it comes to presenting. You know, these are people that, you know, and if it's a very higher organization, you know, they just want facts, want bullet points, you know, and making sure that the buyer is not passive. You know, you don't want them to tune out or anything like that. I hope you aren't tuning out just yet, but you know, you don't want them just to be sitting there. And if you see that, you know, liven it up, you know, get them going again, you know, and making sure that you're enthusiastic. You know, there's nothing worse. I'm sure sometimes you've presented, you know, thousands of times the same thing. But make sure that it is like as if you're presenting again for the first time, because you really want to get this deal and you really want to be ready to take it to the next step. So hopefully, you know, whenever you are looking at a presentation, what you really want to do is sell the features and the benefits, you know, and make sure that you link them together, you know. So again, if I was looking at back, you know, if I was looking at a venue hire, you know, you could even say, you know, our facility features, you know, with the benefits for the client. Our facility features 1,800 square feet of pillar-free floor space. This will benefit your group by the opportunity of having, you know, no restrictive views and things like that, you know. So this is a few opportunities to do it, and make sure that you describe your competitive advantage, you know, your unique benefits over the competition. Especially whenever you are looking at it, if it is a tender or something, you're looking at a quote. And sometimes in the presentation at the end, quote the rates, but if it's appropriate time, just to quote the rates on that. So what you can be looking at now is the competition. Handling the competition, you know, it's a competitive market out there, you know, and sometimes whenever you really need to do and look at doing your homework. So what other organizations maybe are they considering, you know, maybe just ask them and see, you know the competition thoroughly and focus really on your competitive advantages. You know, you don't want to maybe malign the competition or in any way, you know, oh, you know, I really would, in my opinion, I wouldn't want to go with them. You know, deal with not opinions, you know, really deal with the facts and what it is, and use your proof sources, you know, and carve out your competitive niches. You know, use all the bragging rights that you have whenever it comes to that, whenever you are presenting for them. And really, again, don't presume that the client, you know, hasn't if they haven't mentioned it, but they're not shopping around. You know, sometimes the clients everybody shops. Everybody has the opportunity to look online, to get quotes, to get cost comparisons and everything like that too, you know. So make sure that that, you know, you have the opportunity to take it a little bit above the competition. So what again I was looking at is whenever you are making potential examples of that, and I was going back to the hotel there. So among the hotels you're considering, ours is the newest, highest rated, awarded, you know. So you're putting your chest out and saying how we are the best. And, you know, that's a fact because we've got a lot of awards. So unique to our organization is our award-winning team of designers, you know. Unlike the competition, our product offers X, Y, and Z. So know your competitive competition thoroughly so you can speak accurately and intelligently and stay current. So convince them of your value, you know, make sure that you are ahead of that competition. So this is one that you're wanting to maybe look at, is when you're actually quoting the price. So I want to give you a little example, and I love this one here. Has anybody seen this before? So yay. But when your client asks if you can do it cheaper, which I think is quite hilarious. So again, this one, the client's expectations over the client budget. So this is quite good too. It really gives you good indication maybe potentially of what the client's expectations is as opposed to what you are. So what really want to look at is when quoting the price. So the price should be really the last thing discussed after you've really gained the buyer's interest. So sell your value. Refrain from stating, I'll check with my senior manager, you know. you'll lose your credibility on that, you know. So even if you're on a call or something like that, and because in sales sometimes it is a negotiation, you know, you're negotiating, sometimes you're negotiating the price, and you do maybe want to get that win-win. You know, the customer wants to make sure that they've got something away from it. But sometimes I had picked up a tip, you know, somebody said to me, you know, like, you know, if you're on a call and you don't want to give the customer the yes right away, you might need to just go and check back. Somebody said, you know, you could maybe phone on the phone, just go, you know, I have to go into a meeting here at the minute, I'm just a bit late. Let me check this, have a look at these numbers for you. And you know what, I'll give you a call straight back this afternoon. You know, so it does gives you a bit of credibility. And you know, if you do, you have to go away and check and make sure that, you know, that price is suitable. And then you can get back to the customer too. So there's a little wee tip there for you. So again, quote the price confidently and use the positive language. You know, just say how fantastic and you know, and all of the recognition that your company or organization have. So defending the price, this is actually really difficult whenever you're looking at it. So tell the customer the price is very competitive. You know, remind them of what they are getting for the price, sell the benefits. So never apologize for the price. Again, what you're looking at, you know, the cost, you go, I'm really sorry if you think that it's, you know, too high. But, you know, look at the quote of the 3 F's again, as I said maybe earlier, you know. I know how you feel, you know, I felt that way too, you know, but maybe what I found was, you know, that type of area there too you can do. So, but remind them that the service and quality levels determine price, and which of these that they are willing to sacrifice to lower the price. You know, so you know, maybe you actually have to make sure that you know that your service and quality is competitive. So ask if you're able to work something out. Do you have a commitment? You know, so if I work out a good price for you, do I have your word that you will use us? You know, just ask them that right away, so then at least, you know, you do have that commitment from them. So really selling through the objection, you know, you really want to be flexible, you know, maybe offer them an old branch of something else that maybe you can't offer them, but you can offer them this, you know, or something else. So, you know, if it is skepticism, maybe potentially, you know, offer them some proof, you know, what you can do. So, you know, give them the benefits, you know, like a dedicated wedding planner who will look after all of your, you know, your whole day. Proof sources, you've got photos, referrals, you know, letters of thanks, awards and things like that you've got, you know. So really you have the opportunity to do that. So statistics, again, you know, somebody's like, I'm not sure, I don't know, you know, you can offer them the list, these are the statistics there that you've got, you know. So magazines, any articles or anything that you've got, you know, you can give them blogs and social media proof. And, you know, a good example, if you are in that industry or sector, is the TripAdvisor, you know, your 5-star rating. And, you know, so any of the awards that you've potentially got, you know, that they will look at. So one looking at, nearly there, but is closing, you know, always be closing, as somebody said. But, you know, you really, you know, you've done so much of this work, you've done the legwork, you've been in a great relationship with the potential client, you really want to be doing is closing and getting the deal done. So what you really want to look at is how you do, and just ask that question, how does this sound? You know, will this work okay for you? You know, does that sound like what you're interested in? You know, what are your thoughts at this point? You know, and these sometimes are really, and the closed question too is just to make sure that you get that yes, you get that, yeah, this will do. So, you know, you really want to establish when to follow up too. You know, never, you know, give the customer, assign that to the customer to follow up. You know, like I said, you know, emailing them this proposal, and at the end you go, oh, I look forward to hearing from you. You know, it doesn't really give you a chance to follow up at all. It gives the potential client a chance, and they mightn't. So, you know, you just say, this is all the information there, hope this is beneficial for you. I will schedule you know, a phone call next Tuesday to follow up. You know, so if you're emailing that, then you know that you've told them that you will follow up with them next week, and definitely do so. So this is a great opportunity to do that. So hopefully this gives you an area there that you have, you know, will this work for you? You know, does that sound like what you're interested in? What are your thoughts at this point? You know, this is really what you want to do. So, and really primarily what it is at the end of the day, all your sales or any potential leads was a phone call, it was a pop-in, it was an email inquiry potentially, or they were upset with a competitor and they were researching and they wanted to look out and go with you. So that's pretty much, hopefully that gives you a good indication, everybody, of the sales role, the pipeline potentially there for it, and hopefully that gave you a few helpful tips and areas there that you would be able to maybe take away with you. And hopefully if you get a few out of that, you know, I'll be delighted. I'll be absolutely delighted. So hopefully everybody, oh, sorry there, just gone out of it again. There we go. Hopefully everybody will enjoy that. And I actually just wanted to see if we have any room for any questions or anything like that there. Please do. We've just a couple of minutes left, coming up to 11 o'clock. So please pop in your questions there in the Q&A or anything like that. I hopefully you enjoyed it there too. So it's a self-registration for your website on YouTube. Think about such an audience. Oh, great. Thanks, Lynn. Absolutely. I will indeed. That's great. So did everybody enjoy that okay? Yeah, that's great. Just great. Thanks. Martina, thank you. Brilliant. That's great. So no questions or anything, everybody? Anybody? Let me see if I can find any in there. No? Thanks for this morning. Could there be a session on how to use Facebook? Yeah, absolutely. We can indeed. That's great. Oh, it's lovely. I'm getting lots of messages of thanks. Very useful session. Thank you. That's great. Mary Mallon. I've had a nursing training. Oh, great, Rhoda. I seem to be losing the clients. Oh, this is going very quickly. What does it take? Rhoda, do you know what? If you can actually message me later on, we can actually catch up with you on that. Plenty of calls from different agencies. Yeah, absolutely. I'll actually have a catch up with you on that. Wait a second. I just want to get to the point because it's normally very busy and I don't have much time. Also, there are plenty of calls and there are other different agencies. Yes, absolutely. So if you seem to be losing clients with this here, but really what it is to make sure that you're following up. It is key to follow up on those type of calls and inquiries, really is. So trying not to lose the potential client on that. I think targeted newspaper advertising helps with sales. Esther, yeah, you know, any opportunity it helps with sales, you know. So targeted newspaper advertising, though, it depends on what you're actually doing, because it depends on your target. Newspaper, again, you know, the audience or the captive audience maybe potentially might be a bit older sometimes when I'm looking at newspapers and things like that too throughout it. But you know, it always pays, because I think the online and social media activity and everything too for paid for ads, you know, at the moment is really good. But again, it just depends on what your product is. Okay. Oh, that's everybody's going. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. That's great. Thank you, everybody. Well, I think everybody's finished there with us for the night. So really, from myself and Women in Business, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everybody for coming on. I really appreciate it. And if you actually had any insight in sales, good luck for everything. Good luck to everybody. It is a bit of a hard slog, but you know, just keep building those relationships and everything there too, and you know, you'll do great. You really will. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today.